Time now for Better Money with Joel Johnson. The deadline is drawing close to get your taxes in. So what do you do if you have to pay? What if you're getting some money back? Joel is a certified financial planner and managing partner at Johnson Brunetti, who has some ideas on these two types of people that are either saying, yes, I have money,
exactly.
or uh-oh, I owe.
Oh, I've got to owe. Yeah. So we want to talk about the two scenarios here. Do you owe, or do you get some money back? And is it always a good thing to get money back?
All right, so if you owe taxes, let's start with that. You say there are some questions you need to ask yourself. Number one, if you own a small business, are you taking advantage of tax breaks? Really,
if there's any area that we see that people make so many mistakes, either missing deductions or getting themselves up into trouble because they don't pay along the way, it's owning a small business. There's so many small business owners that would be so much better off hiring a CPA firm or hiring a bookkeeper to make sure they're capturing every deduction, that they're staying organized. Many small business owners, especially maybe in the building and remodeling trades or so on, where they're buying their own equipment, they'll have the money set aside to make the quarterly tax payments, and then they'll take that money and buy equipment with it instead, because there's always a demand. So it's really important that, number one, they're organized, and number two, that they're paying in when they're supposed to, and they're capturing every single deduction.
Okay, and then also, if you owe, are your investments creating extra taxes for you?
Yeah, for retirees and people getting close to retirement that are beginning to build up significant wealth in investments for retirement, we see a lot of inefficiency when it comes to taxes. They might own mutual funds that are very, very inefficient. They might be taking short-term gains on things by switching investments too often, where they want to turn those, if any gains at all, are recognized, they want to turn those into long-term gains. So it's very, very important that investments are looked at as a place that can trigger extra taxes, and many people don't even know that's happening.
So if you're getting a refund, first you're celebrating, thinking about all the fun things you're going to do, maybe the trip you're going to take, or the clothes you're going to buy, or the remodeling you're going to do in your house, and you, not to spoil the fun, but you say, actually, the first thing we need to do is build an emergency fund.
Yeah, if you want to do all those fun things, try to do these first four things that we're going to talk about first. And the first thing is build an emergency fund. Younger people get into this trap all the time, where they don't have an emergency fund and they have to finance every emergency that they have. So set aside $500 or $1,000, ideally 3 months of income, to set aside in an emergency fund.
Next, pay down the debt. And you actually say pay down the debt is next, because you want people to do an emergency fund of some sort first.
I would like people to have an emergency fund first and then start whittling away at that debt, so that the only debt you have is on a home that you own or a building that you own or something that goes up in value. Yeah.
Okay. Next, invest in yourself, and you can take a course or join an organization.
Right. I mean, I think it's awesome. It's usually a good outlet for people to have other interests outside of work. So maybe spend a little money, join an organization, take a course up at a community college or one of the colleges. Maybe even join a gym, and you know, sometimes we feel a lot better when we're physically fit. So that's a great investment in yourself.
And lastly, quickly, invest for medium or long-term goals.
Right. Let's make sure that once we've taken care of those three things, which are sort of getting our financial house in order, then we invest for the long-term goals and try to set aside, again, here's that goal, 10 to 15% of your income. Save 10 to 15% of your income for retirement, and you'll be in great shape.
All right, so for more ideas and questions that you want answered, you can just email Joel and his team at bettermoney@wfsb.com, and I know you'll answer the viewer questions.
We love getting the viewer questions. Sometimes we go back and forth 2 or 3 times to make sure that somebody really understands the answer to their questions that we give them.
All righty, thanks, Joel. That's Better Money.